this rainy Saturday evening to Music Minute. This is our latest in our efforts for social persisting, and this will be led by me. And this is just a moment. We had some members who said, wait, it would be nice to hear some of those instruments more frequently than we do now, since we can't get to church in person and be there together. So this is intended to give you that chance to relax, unwind, and maybe a little bit of knowledge to go with it. So what we're going to do is actually follow tomorrow's worship service. So there will be 3 hymns tomorrow, as we would normally have. And we give you a little bit of insight to those hymns, and then a little bit of variation that you can hear on both the piano and the organ here at the church, so that we can use these wonderful instruments and blow the dust out that continues to settle from the construction. So we'll start with, our gathering hymn tomorrow will be That Easter Day with Joy Was Bright. And you probably will recognize the hymn. It sounds something like this. So you might be thinking, yeah, I've heard that, but not maybe at Easter time. Probably more commonly heard at Advent or Christmas on Jordan's Bank, the Baptist Cry. Tomorrow when we sing it, it actually is a Latin hymn that has 13 verses. You'll be glad to know we're not singing all 13 verses tomorrow. We will be singing verses 9, 11, 12, and 13. That's what made it into our wonderful ELW, and that's what we'll be sharing. So now we're going to give you a reflection on Puer Nobis is the hymn tune name, or That Easter Day with Joy Was Bright. So fun makes you feel like you're dancing in the hills, maybe that aren't quite as rainy as it is outside right now. So our next, to get my book here, the next hymn, the hymn of the day tomorrow, is This Joyful Eastertide. And this is a somewhat unique hymn for us. What we see in this hymn is something you don't normally see in hymns, and maybe you don't even recognize this when you're singing on a Sunday, but we generally sing within a certain range of notes, and it usually is less than 8, but somewhere around 5 or 6 is kind of the span that we cross. This particular hymn actually covers an entire octave, so 8 notes, plus another 4. So it's covering a 12-note span. And that's unusual for hymns. What you'll see with this hymn, though, is it kind of, when you look at the words, so it's Christ is arisen, he is arisen, he is arisen, and it keeps talking about this rising of Christ, and you'll hear that as you get higher and higher in the register, you really feel that as you're singing it, which is kind of a neat thing. This text was actually specifically written to go with this tune, and the tune, Martin Luther would be so proud, this was a very popular 17th century love song, that very tune that we saw. So not something you would have thought of hearing in church, but they put these words to it and made it work. There's a lot of repetition, so that also makes it a little bit easier for congregational singing. So I'm actually going to switch over to the organ for this. So let me give you a tune here first so you can hear it. Feel that rising feeling. I'm going to switch over here to the organ now for this version. It's very dusty too. We'll have to have a good cleaning when we get the construction done outside. really sort of a sparkling tune, and you'll hear another variation of that as the Prelude tomorrow, also on the organ. It might be a little harder to find the melody in that one, so that's why I chose not to do that one tonight, so you can hopefully really hear what the hymn is. All right, so we'll move to our sending hymn. I'll send myself over to the piano again. This is probably one that everybody knows. So, of course, we're in the season of Easter, and so what do we say? Christ is risen, hallelujah, hallelujah, any way we can, right? So we have many, many hymns that have those words in them in some fashion. They're all contorted and mixed around. So this is Christ the Lord is risen today, and this tune was actually written by Robert Williams. And what's unique about Robert Williams is that he was actually a blind basket maker from Wales. So he could not see, but he had a very good ear, and it's rumored that he could hear something just one time in his head, and he was able to then go create a manuscript from that he had heard the first time, which is kind of a neat thing. I wish I could do that. The text was written by a woman named Jane Leeson, and she was a member at a Church of Scotland, and later she became Roman Catholic. And primarily her reason for becoming Roman Catholic was because she had a love for liturgy, which is something that we certainly appreciate as Lutherans as well, that great love of liturgy that we have in our services, service of the Word, service of Holy Communion, among many other things. So I bet you know this, right? That's fewer words, right? Everyone ends hallelujah. I'm betting that most of you have heard that. If you've been here before, you've definitely sung it. Okay. Hopefully that gives you a chance to actually hear the hymns before we sing them and maybe know them a little bit better and maybe learn a little bit of trivia about them that you didn't know before. So thank you for joining me tonight. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it to be a relaxing time to kind of unwind for the day. Please feel free to join us tomorrow morning. We have many things happening tomorrow. As a reminder, we have Lego and Learn at 9 o'clock tomorrow via Zoom. We also at 9 o'clock have Coffee and Donuts, where conversation will focus on other opportunities for ministry during this time of social persisting. At 10 o'clock, we will have Sunday School opening with Mr. Scott and myself. And then at 10:30, we will be right back here on Facebook Live and our YouTube channel for worship tomorrow morning on the second Sunday of Easter. Actually, it's the third. So I can't see all those times running together. So thank you. Blessings on your evening, and we'll see you again next week.